Hey y'all, we're gonna open this here box of Zendikar. Excitement. I just got this in the mail today. I am looking to open it immediately because that's how it goes. So once again, we got YouTube doesn't let me stream from my phone, so we're time delayed and it's not actually live, but whatever. I'm okay, if not a little bit disappointed with it. So this is the important one. We'll do that last. It's pretty excellent though. So as always, we'll go through a couple of the commons, or some of the commons for the first couple packs, but generally we're gonna skip over them. Just kind of really slowly. I'm actually kind of I do like that. Canopy Ballast in a nice landfall frame. I'm gonna set those aside, quite cool. So we got Mary Captain, Sprigmantle Cleric, and Umara Wizard, being the first of the flip cards. We don't want to actually flip it because the rare's on the other side. Oh, there we go. So they have got our land, the spell on the other side. Those are quite cool, I think. The first rare, we have Skyclave Shade. Black 1 for a 3/1 with a kicker. Can't block. If it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2+1 counters. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if it's in the graveyard and it's your turn, you can cast it from the graveyard this turn. Which is pretty sweet. So this is kind of a replacement to the Bloodghast, but I think it's still, at least Bloodghast is free. So we have a common foil. Full art land and some trash. I'll look through those for some fancy frames. Oop. Uncommons, we have Bloodchief's Thirst, Skyclave Pickaxe. I think it's quite cool with the auto-attaching equipment. Quite nice. Kalini Ambush. Target creature fights target creature you don't control. And here's, I wonder if it's a normal thing. I wonder if it's one per pack or whatever. But so there's a green tap land flip side. And right out of the gate, Nissa. Black green 2 for a planeswalker with 4 landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a loyalty counter on it. +1, untap a land you control. You can have it become a 3/3 elemental with haste and menace. -5, you can put a creature card with converted mana cost less or equal to the number of lands you control into the battlefield with from your hand to the graveyard with 2+1 counters on it. That's pretty crazy. So, and mythic number 1 as well. Then we have a foil black tap land. Another full art mountain. Island. Whatever it is. We got it. Some commons. And there we go. There's another common landfall frame. Territorial Scythe Cat. Base camp. Got our party mechanic. Fireblade Charger. Bean Veil. So this is starting to look like it's one uncommon per pack. Tap for blue. a rare mythic number 2, Leyline Tyrant. Red 2 for a 4/4 flying. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. When it dies, you may pay an amount of red and do that much damage to any target. Pretty crazy. You get that shit stored up. Full art land. I was under the impression that the lands were not going to all be full art. And either I'm getting really lucky or that seems to be the case. Not 100% sure. So there's a landfall frame. Makindi Ox. One more. So Spoils of Adventure. Let's get the commons out of here. Those are always pile up. Spoils of Adventure, party mechanic as well again. Fireblade Charger. Veil. So I think, yeah, this the third uncommon, or is always gonna be a flip land. This is the blue flip land. And Oran Reef Ooze. When it enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. When it attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each attacking creature with +1/+1 counter on it. Pretty good. Oh, these are cool. I mean, it's a placeholder card for double faced, but it's kind of nice that they didn't bother with the weird templating they had last time. They actually just kind of did it this way. You can just write it in. Some commons. We got a Falconer, Rockslide Sorcerer, and apparently it's not the case. Kitesail Cleric, or maybe it is the case when we get a pathway. Who knows? So there's the red and white pathway. It's quite cool. And another placeholder card. Commons. Night Runner, Iridescent Horn Beetle. And then, so let's say, here's a green flip land, which means we're not getting a pathway. And there it's all the Split Current. This is, this goes out to Christian, I guess, and his arena deck. He's rocking them. Nice looking mountain. Oh, I didn't read the card. We didn't read the card. Verisol the Split Current. Red or blue-green X versus 0/0 Serpent. Enters the battlefield with +1/+1 counters for each mana spent to cast it, so that includes the non-X. Whenever you cast a kicked spell, you may remove 2 +1/+1 counters from it to copy that spell. It's pretty awesome. Disenchant is a favorite common. Uncommons. Lithoform Blight. Thwart the Grave. And there's our flip uncommon. White tap land. And Throne of Makindi. Land. Tap for colorless. 1 tap, put a charge counter on it. Tap, remove a charge counter. Add 2 mana of any one color. Spend this only to cast kicked spells. So, oddly specific, but isn't the first actual counter we've gotten? Yeah. A lot of crap in this set. Never understood why they make ad cards. They could just always put the ad cards on the back of, oh, and they do. On the back of the counters and make them useful, right? Oh, I've seen some fancy. Accidentally. Here's some commons. Commons. Bloodchief's Thirst. Attended Healer. Acquisitions Expert, which is not a flip land, which tells me this last card's a pathway, right? Right. Riverglide Pathway, full art. That is a good looking card. And blue-red is always a good combination. There's a bunch of commons. Actually, I have to pick out a common when it comes up. I think they're common. I pick out one of these, one of the new crabs. So, Demon's Disciple, Skyclave Plunderer, and Acquisitions Expert, which is not a flip land. And so, is this a pathway? No, this is a flip land, though. It's Mythic number 3. Turn Timber Symbiosis. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. And then put a creature card from amongst them onto the battlefield. If that card has a converted mana cost 3 or less, it enters with 3 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. Pretty amazing, but it's also, it's green. 4 is not cheap. And you can tap, you can pay 3 life to make it enter untapped. That's pretty excellent. Oops, let's put that there. Take a quick drink. Some commons. Hey. Geopede in a landfall frame. Uncommon. Wait, did I miss one? No? Did I? Yeah, we missed one. So, because that is our flip land into a red. And then a Master of the Winds. When it enters the battlefield, or it's a 1/4 Sphinx. When it enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, discard 1 whenever you cast an instant or sorcery or a wizard spell. You can have it switch its power and toughness. Okay. Saw that. Let's get some commons. Lull Mage Familiar. Lull Mage Dominance. Domination. And Bala Ged Recovery. That's a flip land for green. And for our rare, oh, it's another mythic. Nice. Drana the Last Blood Chief. When it attacks, or 4/4 flying, when it attacks, defending player chooses a non-legendary creature card from your graveyard. You return that card to your battlefield with a +1/+1. It's a vampire as well. That's pretty cool. Ooh. And Failed Our Retreat foil landfall border. Nice looking card. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. Create a 2/2 white cat beast, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and they gain vigilance till end of turn. Looking a good box so far. There's some commons. There we are. Uncommon. Uncommons, not common. Rune Crab. The new mill crab. Mill decks become 8 crab decks. Great. Good fun. Ross is sprouting. Uncommon. Did I get one? No. There's our white flip land. Target you control gains protection of your choice on a turn, or a tapped white land. Rare's a Legion Angel, 4/3 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you remove a card. You may reveal a card you own named Legion Angel from outside of the game and put it in your hand. Interesting. And a foil iridescent horn beetle. Oops. That goes in there. Commons. Uncommons. Allied Assault. Taunting Arbor Mage. Shijiri's Shelter. Same card as before, actually. And Valakut Exploration is a rare. Landfall Border. When a land enters the battlefield under your control, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. At the beginning of your end step, if there are cards exiled with Valakut Exploration, put them in their owner's graveyard and then deals that much damage to each opponent. That's really good. That's really good. What can I say? And a common foil. Trash. Kazandu Nectar Pot in Landfall frame. I do like these alternate frames. The varying set to set, but it's quite nice. So Relic Axe on auto equip axe. Skyclave Shadowcat. Pella Perdition, the uncommon black flip land. And Grokamaw Skyclave Ravager. Green, black 1 for a 0/0, enters the battlefield with 3+1/+1 counters. When another creature you control dies, if it had a +1/+1 counter on it, put it on the Grokamaw, kind of modular. Eh? And when Grokamaw dies, make an XX black and green Hydra token, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on it. That's quite nice. Cute cat. Uncommon. Demon's Disciple. Ravager's Mace. Malakir Rebirth. Archpriest of Iona. For a single white, star 2. It's a number of creatures in your party, which it's a human cleric as well, so it adds to that. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, target creature gains +1/+1 and gains fly until end of turn. I'm not super sold on the party mechanic. I don't think it'll go outside of this set. And as well, it's very difficult to see when like in standard, when so many other things are dominating, but who knows, right? So, there we got Moss-Pit Skeleton, Cinderclasm, Black Flipland, and Aura Skyclave Hierophant. I think this was the Biovox. It's 3/3 lifelink for black white 2. When it dies or another cleric you control dies, return target cleric with lesser converted mana cost from the graveyard to the battlefield. Oh, and another rare. That's a second rare foil. Very nice. Tajuru Paragon. Green 1 for a 3/2. It's also a cleric, rogue, warrior, and wizard. Kicker 3. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You can put a card that shares a creature type with it from amongst them into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library. So you can kind of build your party with that, I guess. Gone uncommons. We need more crabs. Merfolk Wind Robber. Canyon Jerboa. Amazingly cute art. And then we got a red flip land. And a magmatic channeler. As long as there are 4 or more instants and or sorcery cards in your graveyard, it gets +3/+1. Tap, discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library, then choose one of them. You can play it this turn. That's pretty good for red 1. Can't tell if we're halfway or 1 row further than halfway, but it's good negate, Eric. A relic amulet. Core Blade Master. McKindy Stampede. It's our white flip land. Skyclave Relic. 3, kicker 3, indestructible. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create 2 tapped copies of this artifact. Tap red, 1 mana of any color. So for 6, you can get 3 mana rocks. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So Hellhound, common foil. Mountain. Prowling Felidar. Landfall Frame. Thundering Rebuke. Veteran Adventurer. Blue counterspell into a flip land. Nice. Shadow's Verdict. Black 3. Exile all creatures and planeswalkers with converted mana cost 3 or less from the battlefield, and all creatures and planeswalkers with converted mana cost 3 or less from all graveyards. Crazy. I've got that in a arena deck. Common foil, full art land. Burn through some commons. Skyclave Squid. It's a nice looking card. Taunting Arbor Mage. Skyclave Geopede. Green uncommon flip land. And Skewed Swarm. Green 2, Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green insect token creature. If you control 6 or more lands, create a token that's a copy of Skewed Swarm. That can get out of control quickly. Land, arena. Trash. Ooh. Another landfall card. Arkham Hellhound. So, Kargan War Leader. Other warriors get. Fearless Fledgling. White uncommon flip land. Yasharn Implacable Beast, or Earth. For 4/4 Elemental Boar. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a basic forest and a basic plains. Reveal them, put them in your hand, and shuffle your library. Players can't pay life or sacrifice non-land permanents to cast spells or activate abilities. It's pretty good. Nice. That's a nice token. Just a copy of, you know, whatever. We got a Vine Gecko. Scion of the Swarm. We got Celindy Vision. These cards are actually quite nice. Especially, I feel like some of them are useless, but it's actually some of the blue ones I've seen actually quite useful, but also flip lands, flexibility. So, and we got an Archon of Emeria. Each player can't cast more than one spell per turn. Non-basic lands your opponent cast onto the battlefield tapped. 2/3 flying for white 2. It's almost a hate bear. Flying, slightly more expensive, hate bear. We started out pretty strong on Mythics. That's gonna die out a little bit, so let's see what we can do. So, Vastwood Surge. Umara Mystic. Windrider Wizard is not a flip land. So then we got our Bright Climb Pathway. White-black flip land. Yeah, so that's our second pathway. The one being that really nice full art one. Cleric of Life's Bond. Mind Carver. Red Flipland. Thieving Skydiver. Blue 1. Kicker X. X can't be 0. For 2/1 flying. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, gain control of target artifact with converted mana cost X or less. If that artifact is an equipment, attach it to a Skydiver. It's also Rogue. Nice. Territorial Scythe Cat. We got Grotag Night Runner. Shatter Skull Minotaur. Iridescent Horn Beetle is not a flip land. There is a white. Let's see, what did we get? Didn't we get another? Yeah, we got that. There's another pathway. I thought we actually got another. Oh, that was the Symbiosis, the mythic. This is Undo Inversion. Destroy all non-land permanents for white 6. And it flips into a tapped white. Not bad. Mountain. Trash card. We got Gomafada Vanguard. Shadow Stinger. Tangled Florahedron. That's our flip land. Nimble Trap Finder. It's a rogue, blue 1 for 2/1. Can't be blocked if you had another cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard into the battlefield this turn. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you control gain whenever this creature deals damage to a player, draw a card. Till end of turn. Foil Concerted Defense. Party counter. Dreadworm. Common landfall border. Worm Horror. Relic Golem. Cinderclasm. Brushfire Elemental. And another Pathway. Very nice. This time the green and white one. Journey to Oblivion. The Oblivion Ring, Party Oblivion Ring, let's say. Soaring Through Thought Thief. Kazul's Fury, red flip land. Luminarch Aspirant. White 1 for a 1/1. At the beginning of combat, on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That's pretty nice. It doesn't even have with no reason or no downside or anything. So we got a base camp, attended healer, Vastwood Fortification. That's our uncommon flip land, and Maddening Cacophony. Target opponent mills 8 cards. If this spell was kicked, instead, each opponent mills half their library round down. I'm thinking about these in my mill deck. I was always using the Breaking and Entering, which for 8, which actually this is cheaper. But they are just because it's a generic instead of 2 colors. But the side note of that is that theoretically, Dark Confidant I had taken out of the mill deck because Breaking and Entering has a CMC of 8 because it's 2-sided. So now, at the very least, that won't have that problem. It's a common foil. I don't know if Dark Confidant lives in that deck anymore in this day and age, but theoretically, the reason I took him out no longer exists. Roiling Regrowth, Shatterskull Minotaur, Black Bloom Rogue, black flip land, Wayward Guidebeast. Red for a 2/2 trample haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, return a land you control to its owner's hand. That is not, I don't know how I feel. That's a much bigger downside than Goblin Guide. Like if you had some sort of ramping, put tons of lands in play, it could do it. But at that time, you wouldn't need a single red something that strong, right? So we'll see. Relic Vial. There's Rune Crab number 2. Black flip land. And Linvala, Shield of Seagate. White, blue, 1 for a 3/3 flying. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, choose target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Until your next upkeep, if it can't attack or block or use abilities. You can sacrifice it to choose hexproof or indestructible, and all your creatures gain that ability till end of turn. So that's not bad. Coming up on the end, only a couple packs left. Concerted Defense, Roost of Drakes, Black Flipland, Kargon Intimidator, Cowards Can't Block Warriors. You can pay 1 and choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. You can make creatures cowards, or you can give this +1/+1, or you can target warrior against trample it on a turn. Love the Cowards and Warriors. Reclaim Noise, just a nice looking foil, common foil. Let's see, planes. So how about another mythic, eh? Oops, there's a Relic Vial, Scion of the Swarm, Saloon Division, that's our blue flip land. Nahiri's Lithoforming. Red X, sacrifice X lands. For each land sacrificed this way, draw a card. You may play X additional lands this turn. Lands you control enter tapped this turn. There's a lot going on. Oh, nice, and a rare mythic. Shatter Skull Smashing. Red X. Deals X damage divided as you choose amongst up to 2 target creatures or planeswalkers. If X is 6 or more, it deals twice X damage as you choose amongst them instead. And it flips into a red, pay 3 life, untapped red. That's a nice one. Let's put that there, I guess. Planes. So, what do we got? There's a Spitfire Legak, had a common landfall border. Paired Tactician, Sure-Footed Initiator, Kabira Takedown, our white flip land, and Nighthawk Scavenger. This is craziness. Remember how Vampire Nighthawk was strong? Well, this is bigger than that, right? So it's black 1 for flying Death Touch lifelink 1 plus star 3, where star is the number of card types amongst cards in your graveyard. I could see that doing something in Modern. Ravager's Mace, Rasa Sproutling, Songmad Treachery, which is also our red flip land, and Forsaken Monument. Excellent. So this is quite awesome. So 5 for a legendary artifact. Colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. Whenever you tap a permanent for colorless, add an additional colorless. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. Very cool. So, last pack. Let's see what we get. It's always those borders like, oh, what's that? So, let's see. Commons, Fearless Fledgling and a landfall border, Murasa Rootgazer, Grazer, Fastwood Fortification, a green flip land, and Inscription of Insight. Choose one. Sorry. That's a land, yeah, no foil. So blue 3, and with a kicker blue 2. Choose 1 if the spell's kicked, choose any number. Return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hand. Scry 2, then draw 2. And target player creates an XX illusion where X is the number of cards in their hand. That's pretty awesome. Do like my modal spells. Then, what we really want is this. Let's see. Fetch lands. Wasteland. That is pretty good. We'll take it. These are nice looking cards though. Very cool. Awesome. So that's our box. We have, of course, 2 more boxes. one for our draft as well. We still have a half core 21 box left, so I think we'll do one draft of this sealed box, and then probably do one draft of kind of a half and half, 2 packs of each or something like that, and then one to go into the collection of boxes. Cool. And have a great day.